Monday, November 3rd. Welcome into another episode of Droppin' Dimes brought to you by Better in Green. Guys, we are on fire in the NBA right now. I would put myself up against anybody in the NBA right now. Went 7-2 on our shows last week. I think I've won 6 of my last 7, maybe 7 of my last 8. Just lining them up, knocking them down right now. My one loser in that stretch was the Washington Wizards on Tuesday. That just had the most horrific bad beat of all time. So really seeing the NBA well, guys. Looking forward to another week rolling here. Some games I'm really liking on this slate. So before we get into those games, really quick, if you guys have not subscribed to our channel already, please consider doing so. If you like this video, please hit that like button for me, guys. Really helps us out. We do all these videos, all this content, all these articles for free for you guys. So all we ask is, if you haven't subscribed, if you enjoy it, subscribe to us. If you like this video, just hit that like button. And if you could just leave us a comment down below as well. I mean, guys, find me someone out there right now who is better than 7-2 last week on the show. Bets are 6-1, I believe, across our last 7, hitting at just an insane clip so far this year. All I ask, a like, a comment on this video. Really appreciate it, guys. Let's get into the plays. First game up, we're looking at 7:30 Eastern start time. The Washington Wizards heading to New York to face the Knicks. Knicks, a 12.5-point home favorite, over under 234.5. Plug your nose, guys. I like the Wizards in this game tonight, catching too many points in my opinion. Let's look at the Knicks side. They're on a second of a back-to-back. Now, they do get to stay home, but they're off a very satisfying win against the Chicago Bulls. That was a home-and-home series for them, played at Chicago on Friday, then in New York on Sunday night. Hand Chicago their first loss of the season. That one had to feel good. I was on the Knicks in that game. I absolutely loved the Knicks in that spot. Laid 7.5 with them. They end up winning that one by 12, but was never really that close. Now, second of a back-to-back. They don't really care about the Wizards. Probably the unanimous, well, outside of Brooklyn, definitely one of the worst teams in the NBA. They have a matchup with the Timberwolves on deck on Wednesday, which is a much bigger game here than the Wizards. This is a second of a back-to-back, their third game in 4 nights, and they had to travel from Chicago over the weekend back home. I don't like the spot at all for the Knicks here. Meanwhile, the Wizards, they played on Saturday, had a loss to Orlando. Now they hit the road. I think a team like the Wizards, they do better on the road because they don't have their home fans who aren't happy with their play. Their one win of the season is on the road against Dallas. Plenty of rest here for the Wizards, catching too many points, in my opinion, against a Knicks team that I feel will be, for the most part, uninterested in this game. Give me Washington plus 12.5 points as our first play. Second game up, we look at the 8 o'clock Eastern start time. My Detroit Pistons heading to Memphis to face the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, a 4.5-point home underdog, over under 235.5 here. I'm going to lay the points with my Pistons here on the road, minus 4.5. Again, think it's a bad spot for the Grizzlies. It's not the greatest spot for the Pistons, and the only reason being is because they're coming from what was technically a home game, but that game was played in Mexico. So that game was on Saturday. They got the win, 122-110 against the Mavericks. They've had plenty of rest. They didn't play before that Saturday game since Wednesday. So this is a rested team here off a big win. Although that win being in Mexico, it's kind of throwing me for a loop here. But now they travel to Memphis, where the Grizzlies, they're on the second of a back-to-back with travel. They had to play in Toronto last night, so they were out of the country as well, up in Canada. Just last night, lost to the Raptors 104-117. Had to travel back home to Memphis. No day of rest here. They also played on Friday, lost at home to the Lakers. And on Wednesday, they traveled to Phoenix to face the Suns. So this is not only the second of a back-to-back, it's the second of a back-to-back with travel, third in 4 nights, fourth in 6. With travel, they had to go out to Phoenix, back home to Memphis, up to Toronto, back home to Memphis with no day of rest in between. It's a bad spot for the Grizzlies, guys. I think the Pistons get the best of them here. Lay the 4.5 with Detroit. Think they win this game going away. And our final game on the board, a 10 o'clock Eastern start time here. The Los Angeles Lakers heading to Portland to face the Trailblazers. Portland, a 3.5-point home favorite here against the Lakers. Over under 236.5. We're going to take the favorite in this one again, guys. I like Portland laying the 3.5 points. Lakers always going to be a public team, especially as an underdog, especially, catching 3.5, a couple possessions there with Luka in the game as well. But there's a reason why Portland's favored here. I prefer the Portland side. You look at the Lakers, they're playing their second of a back-to-back. They have to travel now. Played at home yesterday against the Heat, got a 130 to 120 win. Now traveling to Portland, not a far travel by any means, but a travel nonetheless. They played on Friday and Wednesday as well, both road games that were in Minnesota and in Memphis. So again, just like for the Grizzlies, this is their second of a back-to-back with travel, 3rd and 4 nights with travel, 4 and 6 nights with travel. Had to go up to Minnesota, down to Memphis, back home for a home game, and then up to Portland with no day of rest in between. They won all 3 of those games in the last 6 nights here. So I think they're feeling pretty good going into Portland. Now, Portland is their last loss on the season. They lost to the Warriors on opening night and then lost to this Portland team a week ago. So it's a little rapid revenge spot here for the Lakers, but I do like the spot for Portland. They have not played a game yet in November. Their last game was on Friday. They have also not lost since playing the Lakers on Monday. Yeah, I think the spot here favors the Trailblazers. I think the Lakers, it is a rapid revenge, but it's not a team that you really get up for in Portland. They're playing well this year, 4-2, but just over the last few years has not been a team that you would really get up for. So I think whenever the Lakers are dogs, you have to take note. Obviously, public's going to flow in on LA here. I'm going to bucket. I liked the Trailblazers. We were on the Blazers last week. We're going to be on them again tonight. Give me Portland minus 3.5 for our final play. So, guys, that will wrap it for today's episode. Quick recap, we like the Wizards plus 12.5 in New York against the Knicks. The Pistons laying 4.5 on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies. And we like the Portland Trailblazers minus 3.5 points against the Lakers. Again, guys, all I ask, if you have not subscribed already, please do so. If you enjoy this content, enjoy this video, drop me a like. Again, 7-2 last week. We're going to keep the good times rolling in the NBA all season. So throw me a like here. Drop me a comment down below. Thank you, as always, for watching, guys. We will see you for another episode of Droppin' Dimes later in the week. Until then, have a profitable night. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.